Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, welcome everybody to another edition of the Beck Bode No Bonds cast. Beautiful day here in the Boston area. It's about 73-ish. The sun's out. Definitely a much better scenario than the low 90s, hot and humid days we've seen over the last 3 or 4 days. Much more manageable. Hope everybody's doing well today. I am here today with a few folks that I want to introduce. First off, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Benjamin Beck. I'm the co-founder and chief investment officer of Beck Bode. We have with us today Eric Benz. He's the director of portfolio operations and analysis for Beck Bode. He actually wears a lot of hats, a lot of great hats. International Man of Mystery is on there as well, I think, on his business card. He's also, though, in charge of the subject matter for today, which is the 401 Go implementation for business clients of Beck Bode. And also, we have our featured guest today, Jared Porter, who's actually the co-founder of 401 Go. Jared's worked in the 401k industry for over a decade in the TPA space, which that acronym stands for third party administrator, and the record keeping space. As I said, he's the co-founder of 401 Go, really passionate about helping small businesses save for retirement. He's also a qualified 401k administrator, as well as a qualified 401k consultant. He currently resides in Utah with his wife and 6 kids. I didn't know you had 6 kids.
Yeah, I think you read that for the first time, right? Yeah.
I read that for the first time. I did not know that.
Yeah, we're done, but yeah, 6 kids.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. I myself have 4. 6 is I imagine a whole new ballgame.
After 3, you forget about the rest of them, so it's okay.
That's it. That's great. Well, excellent. So, today we're here to talk. Thank you, Jared, for coming aboard, as well as you, Eric. As you all know, we're here to talk about 401k plans today, and in particular, the platform of which Jared's a co-founder of, called 401 Go. And 401ks have been, for me and Jim Bode, our other co-founder, a place that we've always had a lot of intrigue. We have certainly a lot of experience there. We've also had a lot of frustration there throughout most of our careers. And we wanted to bring Jared on today to talk a little bit about the 401k industry in itself, in particular the platform that he co-founded to make it much easier and streamlined for small businesses in particular to have a tremendous amount of success with their retirement plans, and all the details that go into that. So Jared, I'd love to turn it over to you, maybe to start off by giving us a little bit of an overview and telling us maybe first the benefits of having a 401k plan.
Yeah, sure. So you went into a little bit about my background. So a third-party administrator, that's a place where most businesses don't really see that side. As far as employees, they don't see that side of things. But what we do see on that side is a lot of companies that are setting 401ks up, and they're usually a larger business that is setting it up. In my experience, I've seen just a lack of options for these small businesses. And what's happened is maybe some of those that are looking to set something up have maybe peeked in and tried it, and then seen that, wow, this is something that I don't know if I can do right now, whether it's cost and other reasons. But the benefit behind that is really something that outweighs the risk of actually looking at what that does for your company. One statistic that is, I think it says everything, is that employees are 15 times more likely to participate in a 401k plan if their employer offers one. So if there's nothing being offered, more than likely they're not going to go out and try to find some sort of retirement account on their own. And so they're looking to employers to provide that. And so that, I would say, the number one benefit is that there's an option there. If there's no option, then there's no benefit. And those that are very conscious of that and that want to save are going to have that in the back of their mind. And so when an opportunity comes up where there is a business that has that, they'll probably be looking elsewhere. But there are a number of just practical reasons for a 401k when it has to do with retention and recruiting. But there's an aspect of this that I like I like to hit on, is the cultural side. When you have a business with a 401k or some sort of saving mechanism for retirement, there's a different culture there with that company. When you don't have it, there is kind of a stigma that's there where those employees look at it a little differently. So I would say that the possibility of participation is the number one benefit, but the tax savings, everything else that goes into that, you're missing out on those. While you could provide a benefit that does things for your employees, there's tax credits as far as with your cost to set that up and administer that plan. You can claim 50% of your costs every year for 3 years when you set up a 401k plan. If you add what's called an auto enrollment provision, which we can go through a little bit more if you want to, and that's $500 a year on top of that. So if you had a company where you have less than 10 employees, you're getting tax credits that basically take that cost of doing that with 401go. There are other places it's not the case, but also any contributions that you're putting in as an employer, they're going in pre-tax, and that helps with your overall tax liability. So yeah, that's everything. I think there's a ton more, but that kind of gives you an appetizer.
Yeah, Jared, so you're talking about tax benefits, cost benefits, culture benefits. So we've got all these benefits of 401k plans. So why do we see that so many small businesses don't have 401k plans?
The main part of this that I've seen is the cost and difficulty, or the complexity. So when a small business that's just trying to run their business hears about a 401k, the first thing is, synonymous with that's complex, that's difficult. And then on top of that, what's the cost? And it's not just the cost, in monetary wise, it's a cost in time. So when you have a business that doesn't have an HR group or someone that's managing that for them, those are things that are at the back of their mind. I'm going to have to put all this time and effort into it. And they're not wrong on how the 401k industry has projected 401ks. They've projected them as very complex. You have to reach out to multiple providers to get what you need. And then you're paying so much into it and it's taking so much of your time that what's the point? That's what the industry is out there kind of projecting in a way when they're not offering a solution that is easy to use and affordable. So I'll give you one example of a company that they'd wanted to do a 401k. They've kind of looked at doing something like that. They're in transportation, and they had two businesses actually, and they're two small businesses, and they were looking at doing this, but the owner was not very tech savvy, and so the thought was, I don't know if I can do this. So if you have something that's really easy to use, even those that are not as tech savvy, if you simplify that, if they can use a cell phone, they start to see, okay, I can do this, and there's a level of confidence. Now, with this particular company or companies, because she has two companies, when she first went to set something up, so she decided to go with 401go specifically because of how easy it was to use. But there was still a lot of trepidation about doing that because, again, the industry that is pushing that difficulty level that's out there. I think that it was after she realized that, yeah, I can do this and it's not taking up all my time. She's seen her participation rate for both these businesses is 80%, and they don't have an auto enrollment provision, which usually, kind of bumps up that percentage. And she's seen employees that she did not expect to put money away. She sees them putting money away. And so that goes to show you don't know what employees are wanting to save or what their situation is until you have something that's offered there. And it's just been amazing to see that. So I would say that the difficulty in setting it up and the costs were the main friction point for her business.
That's a pretty interesting and great distinction you made on cost overall, but cost of time spent, because we at Beck Bode here, the vast majority of our clients are in fact business owners. And when I've talked to a number of either clients of ours or business owners that are contacts of mine that own small businesses, that is by far the number one, whether they have a 401k plan or not, that is the number one reason that I hear the vast majority of the time, is that there's this, I think industry created this feeling of a necessary evil of having a retirement plan, and the necessary evil being the fact that it's made up to this point so complex to engage with all these different moving pieces, from record keeper to TPA to and then investment consultant and all this, and setting it up and making sure it's compliant and so on. And it's something that has, I think, plagued small business owners for a long time and stands in the way of them and their employees providing this unbelievable benefit to participants.
Yeah, I've experienced firsthand how confusing it can be, and it was definitely, there was a large learning curve, learning the back end, learning all the paperwork, and I can definitely say that 401 Go has been a significantly easier process. And that being said, Jared, we're about halfway through. I want to jump in, and I wanted to see if you could talk a little bit more about what exactly 401 Go is and how it's more efficient by combining, different features, TPA and custodian. I was wondering if you could elaborate.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me actually, I'm going to share my screen here and just to show some of this, so we have something to look at that makes it a little easier. So let's do this. Move this over. So I have a lot of things here. So this right here is a good visual just to see what is there. So it typically, just to give you some perspective, typically in setting up a 401k, you're looking at about 8 weeks to set something up on legacy providers. So that means if you're just going out there, you're going to set something up, it's that time frame is pretty much the standard. So we looked at that and we said that can be done so much faster. There's the technology that's out there, and we can actually use that and harness that. So 401 Go is a custom platform, and it's built around automation to make things not only easier and more efficient, but then that makes things also more affordable. So there are certain things that we've built into it for, like the setup process, for example. If you are normally setting up a 401k, there's a lot of things you have to sign. You get a lot of documents that you have to sign and go through. And there are a lot of things with a 401k that, quite frankly, they have nothing to do with the saving component. They're just these extra little things that you have to decide on. So our plan setup, I've seen someone set up a 401k plan on our platform in about 8 minutes. Take all the time you need, but the setup process is really easy because it guides you through what you want for your business. It's asking you questions. It's going through that. Now, you can always have someone to assist you in that setup process, but you could also, maybe you can't sleep. It's 3 a.m. and you've been thinking about a 401k. You could set it up at 3 a.m. and get through it and have something ready to go. Now we've made it easy in the sense where you can, once you have all that set up, you can assign it right there on the platform, and it will drop your signature and authorize on all the agreements that you would normally need to sign separately for your 401k. So that's the setup process that we've made incredibly easy. It's automated. There's not someone behind the scenes pulling strings or anything like that. And it will set up a what's required for a 401k, which is an IRS approved plan document. And so we have that real time. You set it up. The other side to this too is the features that are built into our platform, not only just for you as an employer, but also for participants. So as an employer, there are some requirements that you have to follow when you have a 401k plan. First of all, you have to let your employees know when there's a 401k plan. If you have, if you set what's called like your service or wait time for a 401k plan to 6 months. Now, normally you would have to go and talk to that employee that becomes eligible and let them know that there's a 401k. But given that you have a business to run, that's not always the easiest thing to do. If you are adding those employees as soon as they're hired, we track their eligibility and we notify them for you. And we keep track of those notifications. So you can, and it's nicely put in one place where you can download that and see who's been notified, when they were notified. And so you can keep track of that as well. But we're providing for that service. Again, it's a full service platform. So we're doing the required notices because there's notices that have to go out. We're sending those out to your employees. We're doing the required testing that has to be done every year. And we're doing the required tax reporting, which is on the form 5500. So those are elements that we're doing for you as the employer. For your employees that are participating, we have a lot of really cool features with the platform. So we have an investment strategy builder that every employee has access to. And the really cool thing about this is with Beck Bode, they have their models, simplified models put into that strategy builder that as you are selecting what your risk tolerance level is when you go and you answer where you're at as far as with your age and how risky are you if you got like $20,000 or whatever, and how would you spend it? What would you do with it? So it's asking those questions, and it'll put a portfolio together for you where you can accept, or you can also lean on and Beck Bode to provide even more support for the investment allocation. The other part of this is it's called dynamic rebalancing. This is something unique to our platform. We think it's pretty cool where as the market fluctuates, usually you would set something on your account to rebalance like on a quarterly basis or something like that. We have it set where it will automatically rebalance with the drift of the market, which means if the market is drifting one way, your investments will rebalance to what your original election is. We can have that set to, a 5% drift, 10% drift, et cetera. So there's different features there that keep your account where you want it to be. And we also have for those businesses with over 3 employees, we have a dedicated relationship manager that is there to help you through that. And the best part of this is our pricing is very simple, very straightforward. We charge $9 per participant per month. And then there's a very small custodial fee, which is 0.07%.
Jared, I'm really glad you kind of touched on the fact that even though it is an app, you still get the human side, which is what some clients have been concerned about. But with 401go, the reps are very responsive, answering questions about how you're setting up your plan. Do you want your employees to be rolled in 90 days or half a year, things like that. And then you've still got that same premium level of Beck Bode service from the advisors who are going to help you select your investments, look at your deferrals, and help you along with things like that. So we're getting closer to the end here. I want to have Ben jump in to talk about the Beck Bode Strategies offered on 401go's platform. And it's a really cool opportunity with our CIT funds.
Absolutely. And before I get there, I just want to touch on one thing you said, Eric and Jared, which is actually really important, is that everybody can talk about service. I'm a firm believer, and when I opened up this talk today, I used the word frustration with the 401k market throughout the vast majority of my career, because I found that there wasn't that great link of service. In other words, there's a 401k platform, wherever it is, that an employee can go online or such to choose a type of investment. Sometimes not. There's an investment consultant available to talk to. However, the vast majority of investment consultants that I've met with respect to 401k plans aren't as well versed with working with individuals in terms of financial planning and investment policy statements, and really understanding the value of those contributions, those deferrals that they're making in the plan, and what that means for the long-term picture for them and their family. That can't be necessarily quantified in the risk tolerance questionnaire. And so that's why it's so incredibly important. What we do, we don't, in fact, specialize with 401k plans. We do manage a number of 401k plans on behalf of our small business clients. But what we do, the priority of what we do, is working with the individual. And so, as you mentioned, Eric, one of the biggest benefits, in my opinion, humble opinion, of working with 401go and connected to Beck Bode, is that you do, in fact, get access to a very qualified advisor that is understanding not just about this particular fund or that particular fund, but really what the entire financial picture looks like, and helping ensure that you have the most positive outcome down the road. And that comes to quality advice and consistent service along the way. But I just want to touch on that real quick because I thought it was really important. But on the investment side, certainly not a distant second to that service is we are, as much as we're financial advisors and financial planners, we are portfolio managers here at Beck Bode. So we have been running our strategies, the Beck Bode growth strategy and the Beck Bode income growth strategy, since we began, and on an individualized basis. And that's what we do today for our clients. A number of years ago, however, because that running a portfolio of individual securities on an individual basis for a client wasn't very easy in the 401k end, we made the decision a few years ago to launch what Eric referred to as CITs, or synonymously CIFs, collective investment funds, collective investment trusts. And what that allowed us to do, that allowed us to package our strategy in a format where it can be listed as an eligible investment on a 401k plan menu. But then we ran into another issue. Not all 401k platforms allow for our strategies to be on there. They're more reserved for the much bigger companies out there, the big Wall Street firms, to place their funds on those platforms. However, 401go makes it very easy for us to provide what we specialize in on the individual side in a small business's 401k plan. And so that provides not only a great option, but also, or a couple great options, but also you're connected with financial advisors who specialize in that philosophy on how to manage money. And it's all packaged in funds that you can literally, as Jared very simply explained, it is that easy in terms of the setup process, both on the business owner's end, but also for that business owner's participant when they're going in there and selecting investments. And you're talking to somebody like Eric, or somebody like myself, or another financial advisor at Beck Bode to help make those decisions that help you get better for your long-term future.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So I think we actually, oh, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing with that is when you have technology that is doing what it needs to be doing, you can focus on that relationship. So it's not just a matter of you know, you have all the technology and then you just let people figure it out. That's the wrong way to approach it. So having that relationship side of it, it's the technology and touch is, I mean, it changes how things work for, especially for small businesses. And so working with Beck Bode and 401 Go, that relationship side of things it's a game changer because it makes it easy on the technology side, and then everything else that you need on the other side is there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the automation definitely prevents a lot of those errors so that you're not putting out fires on the back end the whole time, and you can focus on the relationship side. So I think we actually ended up covering everything. Does anyone have anything else to add before we finish up? If not, I just wanted to mention, for more information about 401 Go, you can always connect with one of your Beck Bode advisors. You can connect with Ben or I. We've got pamphlets, pricing information, fund option information that we can send. You can also reach out on Beck Bode social, which we have LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on every platform at this point. So
I think there was one question that someone asked, Tom had asked.
Let's see. Are the fund options in the plan selected by 401 Go or the advisor? So the advisor, for example, Beck Bode in this case, works with the business owner to select the funds for the particular plan. One thing I'll mention too, if there are no more questions, which I think is a really cool feature as well, it's that, okay, so say you reach out and you're really interested in setting up a 401k, or you have a 401k and you're like, this isn't working, it's too complex, I like what I heard, I want to learn more. So you call, you learn a little bit more. So what happens next? You get a big manila folder on your desk with all these documents to sign, or you have to go through this entire process of filling out all these stuff. No, you actually get a link. You actually get a link from 401 Go where you or your HR person, the person in charge of supplying information to set the plan up, clicks on that link. And as Jared said, there have been some cases where clients have been able to set up the 401k in 8 minutes. All this great technology where it takes you to a page. Okay, you have to put in information about the employees, the participants. So there's a page for your census where you can literally click on an upload button and uploads an Excel spreadsheet, a template, and away you go. So when Jared says it is incredibly easy, that's when I'm a business owner. Obviously, I own Beck Bode. We use 401 Go for our company plan, and it is literally that easy. You know, we make a big deal with our clients, with our investment strategies, how not only do we talk about how impactful they are, we also eat our own cooking. So we invest, our employees invest in the same strategies that we're investing with clients. And we think it's really important that for any platform or any product that we would get behind, we're also, you know, eating our own cooking in that sense as well. So any questions, as Eric said, more information, reach out to Eric at Beck Bode, or invest at Beck Bode, or social at Beck Bode, and certainly someone will get back to you right away, and we can continue that conversation. Excellent. Well, thank you, Jared. This was great. Great
Thank
to have
you.
you on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this latest No Bonds cast.